Hello everybody, we are the Geeks and the Degenerates, and we are at the end of our Toy Story journey, and what character is that?
Shielder from Fate Stay Night.
Huh?
Fate Grand Order, to be exact.
Alright. Uh, but
She's
yeah,
missing the shield, but it's over there. Anyway.
this movie came out, 12 years ago. And I remember the hype for it in junior high. We were classmates back then, and I don't think, I wonder if you remember the hype, because everybody was like, oh my god.
No. I remember the hype. I wasn't able to watch this in theaters, though.
Really, no?
Yeah. Well, one, I was kind of poor. Like, I didn't have, like, a lot of money to myself to be like, hey, dude, you want to go watch something? I was 10. 12 to be exact. Sorry.
Yeah, not quite the age where your parents were like, yeah, you can go out by yourself.
Yeah. Not like nowadays.
But yeah, the hype. I remember everybody in our junior high being like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it's ending," when we thought it was the end.
Yeah, but like everybody in our school was talking about. Like, did you watch Toy Story 3? I was like, no, it's so sad. Like, they would pin you through the wall and like, watch it. I'm like, oh god.
Let your tears flow. We're like, are you okay?
Yeah, I was like, man, what the hell are you talking about? For the longest time, though, because of the hype, I kind of got turned off by it. I was like, what's the big deal of like Toy Story 3? And I found out.
Appropriately enough, I watched this with my mom and sister, who I started the journey with in the theater. And yeah, not a dry eye in sight at the end of it. Jesus.
Yeah.
But yeah, the beginning of this movie is just Pixar flexing. It's like, look what we can do now.
Like, you saw how they starting from Toy Story 1, where it's just Andy voicing the toys in themselves, to Toy Story 2, where it's just a video game, and now Toy Story 3, where it's full-on graphics and pure imagination. But sad to say, it was a pretty cool scene, you know.
Rex
like the
has the T-Rex roar, the roar, torrential roars. Like, Disney really has a thing for borrowing Spielberg's sound effects, huh?
Yeah, but I will say Godzilla has a better roar. I know. Sacrilege. Man!
Coming from you? How dare you yourself?
I should have worn my Godzilla shirt for this one. But yeah, like, they really put out all their animation chops. And we thought this was it.
Yeah.
This was like the end-all be-all animation. Like, no, nothing can top this. Well, Pixar still topped it.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
And then we cut to younger Andy, and his mom's recording his life, and you're like, alright, I guess we'll stay with Kid Andy for the rest of this movie. Nope. He opens the toy box and you're like, whoa, holy shit, you're going up.
I was like, damn, you handsome. What happened? Jesus Christ. Like, you remember, the Toy Story 1 Andy was just like a doll with like a 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah.
Now, it's like, who's this boy band of a man?
Yeah, like, he does have a soul in him.
There's a little bit of a life in those eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we see like Andy has grown up. The toys, they were like on standby whenever Andy wanted to play with them again.
Yeah.
But
of course, when you're 17, your priorities change.
Yeah, of course. But it's a little bit sad to see that for the longest time, no matter how long it was, the toys were staying on like standby to be like ready to be played. But of course, years went on and they just like still on standby, but at the same time losing hope.
Yeah. Like when Woody's like, let's call for a staff meeting, and then it's just them. You're like, where's everybody else? And then they're like, this is everybody else. There's no Bo Peep. There's no Squeaky. No RC.
They're all donated. It was really sad to see. You saw the main character, sure, but like,
yeah,
usually they would have like a whole community of toys. Now they're gone.
Yeah.
And again, like as somebody who grew up with Toy Story, you see that and it was like, oh no.
Yeah.
This is gonna hurt me.
Right? But Annie's mom's like, hey, I'm gonna. You have to clean your space out before you move. So one bag's for college, one bag's for donations, and one bag's for trash.
Hmm.
So since he's not really paying attention, he accidentally puts Jesse and the others in a trash bag.
And of course, it was a little sad to see he had Buzz and Woody in one hand.
Yeah.
And you know where his like love went towards. It was
Yeah.
more of Woody. And
Yeah.
he puts Buzz into the trash bag. Oh, sorry, the donation attic bag.
Yeah. But since it's in a trash bag, mom's like, I guess he's throwing these away forever. And then Woody tries to call Buster, and this kind of breaks my heart because you see Buster. When you first see him, Toy Story 2, he's this young, adorable puppy. But in 3, he's like, oh my god.
Oh, he's so old.
Yeah.
Ah. Don't let us see Buster go away.
Yeah. It's like, come on, Buster. And Buster's like, I'm not as young as I used to be, buddy.
Yeah. And, excuse me.
Also, we see
like-
Molly growing up like, Jesus Christ, you were just a kid. You were just a baby.
Yeah, now she has a hoodie on. She has
Yeah.
earphones. I'm like, oh my,
Oh my.
teenagers.
Right?
Yeah.
And Woody tries to rescue them, and but he's like, we have to go back. And he's like, why? She was, Andy threw us away. He's like, no, you don't understand. The mom
Yeah,
got
he was.
confused.
Yeah, he was supposed to put you in the attic,
Yeah.
which is also kind of like a bummer at the same time.
Yeah.
Because they did have like this box for donations to put into what was it? Sunnyside.
Yeah.
It was like, if y'all been to like a pediatrician and he had like these toys just to keep you distracted before your checkup, it was like that kind of place. It was
Yeah.
a daycare center. Yeah.
And then, like, we're better off just not being here, and they ride a car with a Sunnyside box. Because Woody's still like, we have to go back. Like, no. They threw us out. And throughout this whole movie, Mrs. Potato Head has one eye because her other eye is left behind for some reason. Like, I
Yeah,
guess
she
it's,
couldn't find it.
yeah, I guess it's hard being a potato head, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, can't you like trade with your husband, like just pass it on?
Can I just borrow this for one day, sir?
Yeah.
But they go to daycare, and we meet Bonnie for the first time, and she's this shy girl. Like, I wonder why they're shining
yeah.
spotlight on her so much.
As they're introducing the daycare, like they're looking at the window and they're like ready to like be played with, and they see like kids. They're like petting them. They're playing with them properly. They're very careful with it. And I was like, oh, they got hope. Let's stay in daycare. Maybe it's a really good idea to stay in daycare. And this is where we thought so.
Yeah, voiced by Ned Beatty. If you don't know who that is, watch our Rango review.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that Ken was voiced by Michael Keaton. And you didn't realize that either till now, did you? Yeah.
Michael Keaton had I mean, that's kind of cool because we had John Wick in the next one.
Right? And then it's Michael Keaton as Ken and Whoopi Goldberg as the octopus, but she doesn't really get to say much, so there's that.
Yeah.
Lots just like, hello, welcome to Sunnyside. This is the best place. See, we're taking care of all the toys. See, they even get repaired. There's nothing to fear. Then they
And what?
go to the other room. They're like, this is where you'll stay for a while.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like new toys get sent here, and then from as time goes on, you pretty much get picked into the certain rooms that you are
Yeah.
supposed to be stationed in.
But Barbie gets to be with Ken to his space because I guess that grants her special privileges. So she's like, you don't understand. I finally see a Barbie, and that's
Yeah.
missing piece. And they're like, all right, you can go with Ken, but Woody's still like hung on like, I have to go back to Andy. I was like, all right, college boy, he chose you. Obviously, this is our future. We get to stay here and be loved forever. And they
Yeah.
go to separate ways, but Woody ends up in Bonnie's bag because he tries to fly out and lands on the tree, and Bonnie's like, oh, new toy.
I would
Fine.
love to have that. Yeah, I was just like, I just put it in my bag.
And Mom's like, what were you looking at the tree for? Nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
I ain't no thief.
Uh, and playtime's near, and then you see the other toys in the room. They're like, all right, playtime's near. They're like,
They're all like hiding.
no. And Buzz is like, Rex, wait. And then you see Rex just get whacked to the side.
As a door opens. And this was like probably the thing that opened my eyes to like me disliking kids. Like like you see these kids just gnawing on it. There's like this dot bubble coming out of him. And they're like, of course, the animation team just had to like do a close up on the kid's face, and they're kind of stupid looking. I was like,
yeah, one's chewing on Buzz, like, stop it. Stop it.
stop it, just stop it. I don't like it. Like I couldn't handle it. That was the point where I was like, children are gross.
After that, they're like, I don't remember playtime ever being that rough. Ever. And Buzz like, maybe I can talk to Lotso. And then he overhears as he's sneaking around, like, how? What do you think of the new toys? Like, they're not going to last a day. Because they're going to be trashed the next day. And he's like, oh, I see what's happening. It's like that.
Yeah.
And then they tie him to a chair, and you're like, what's the rating of this movie again?
Right? It was somewhat like an odd version of Hot Fuzz / Get Out,
Yeah.
where the town's pretty much controlled by Lotso. Everybody's brainwashed by Lotso.
And, then,
And
at first, I was just like, what are you doing? Stop doing that to him. We don't treat our guests that way. Come on, Buzz, you're part of the higher-ups now. He's like, but I... That's what Vin Diesel's like, but family.
this is my family.
And Lot's just like, oh, I see. And then
Yeah.
they pin Buzz, and they have this manual of a random Buzz Lightyear toy. I guess a former victim. Like,
Yeah.
how do we control this fucker? And they just
Exactly.
pin him down as they open the battery box, and I'm like, now I'm like, this is fucked up.
This is messed up. It's legit messed up. They winter soldiering Buzz.
Yeah. From play to demo, and he's back to being an idiot again. But a much harsher idiot. Straight up Winter Soldier Buzz. Because he rounds up the toys when they're like, Buzz, why are you hurting us? Why do you do this? Like,
And lots of segregating all the other toys.
yeah.
Ooh, these are very adult themes.
And
In
then,
a very... It's not a kid's movie no more, I would say.
yeah. Lotso's just watching on as Buzz beats the shit out of all of them. Just
Yeah.
like, Buzz, why you do this? Like, silence. Like, oh, okay. Puts them in prison, and we cut back to Woody and Bonnie's house, and he's having a much better time. Because, again, she's like maybe 5 or 6, and it's back to when Andy was 5 or 6.
Yeah, she was very like a very responsible kind of kid.
Yeah.
He came to her twice.
And
But
he's trying to escape, and Tosh is like, but why? It's nice here.
yeah. But like of course, what is like, hey, the majority of my friends are still back at Sunnyside being torn to shreds by children.
Yeah, and well, he doesn't know that. He's just like, I have to go back to my friends, or I have to go back to Andy, because again, college boy needs me. And then Bonnie comes back to play with him, and then after the second playtime, we're like, at the back, and we're like, is that Totoro?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Totoro's at the back.
Like
I
in
was like-
2010, I'm like, I have no idea who that is, because people were going nuts behind me in 2010. Like, oh, it's Totoro. I'm like, what's that? In 2018, when I rewatched this in Netflix, I'm like, oh my god, that's Totoro.
Yeah. Man, you bring shade to the anime community. No, okay.
I'm sorry, I wasn't an anime fan in
I don't know.
2010.
I don't know if there were any other toys at the background that were like, wait a minute, that's a real toy. Or that's like another franchise, another show that they're referencing.
Can't really remember. No, I think Totoro's the only like major one. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But Woody tries to go back to Sunnyside, and they're like, why would you want to go back there? It's like, because my friends are there. No, first they're like, how did you escape, first of all? And he's like, what do you mean escape?
Right? That was the thing. Majority of Bonnie's toys came from that gulag.
Yeah,
We're like, what do you mean?
yeah. It's like,
You
just
didn't
as Chuckles, who's the comedian, apparently, of the group.
You got a little Chuckles was just like, just grizzled, like, war veteran kind of toy who's seen so much shit.
I was there in the beginning of Lotso. You find out Lotso's story, and unlike Jesse, something snapped in him. He's like, oh, I've been replaced.
Yeah, these were the two different types of being abandoned.
Yeah.
Where Lotso and Baby and Chuckles were, they were toys together with this one owner named
Daisy.
Huh?
Daisy.
Daisy. And they went out for a picnic trip and she forgot them.
Yeah.
But of course, Lotso very much loved that kid, so he found his way back home. But as he sees, he's been replaced. As any parent would do, like if the kid loses their favorite toy, they would replace it with another one so the kid,
Yeah.
won't lose their mind.
Yeah.
And I get it. But at the same time, I also get Lotso, where he's like, no, screw this. Where he was the only one replaced, by the way.
Yeah.
Baby and Chuckles weren't. And the man pretty much abused this information. Was like, nah, you got replaced. She doesn't want you.
But poor Chuckles is like, but you were a shut the fuck up. Like, oh.
When you hear Chuckles' voice compared to it now, I'm like, the man's been through so many years and so many cigarettes. The man has a pack of Camel
Right?
each day.
And Woody's like, I can't let my friends die, obviously. I have to rescue them. And he sneaks back and he has the help of this, I don't know what you call it, the phone card thing.
Yeah, I don't get what that was.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But he's like, listen here, soldier. You may be able to escape. But if you don't take out the ape, you're fucked.
Which is also another nightmare for you.
Oh, we'll get to that when we get to that. Because my teacher had a funny reaction. So did I. When we were like, oh god, that thing's scary.
Exactly.
But yeah, they go back to Sunnyside where you see the second playtime where the kids are somehow even rougher. Because you see one kid just bashing Rex in. And like another kid just slams Jessie to the wall. And she just goes limp. She's already a toy, but you're still like, oh god, poor Jessie.
My god, if you ever wanted to see Attack on Titan 3D, this is it. Like, this was just nightmare fuel for anybody who hates giants.
Oh, and what's worse is that Barbie had to be taken in prison too because she was like, what are you doing to my friends, Ken? He's like, sorry. Is that
Rules
what
are
it is?
rules,
Yeah.
And, like, I love that scene where Barbie was at Ken's house. And Ken was, like, way more,
Yeah.
as us Filipinos say, arte.
Yeah. But they meet Woody's as he comes back, and he's like, I have a plan. First, they trap Mr. Winter Soldier in a plastic box, which is the classic way to catch. I forgot what you call the bugs in the Philippines that have a hiss. Do you know about that?
I do know those. It's just I don't know what they're called.
Yeah. If you know what they're called, comment below.
Here's a photo.
Oh, And then they also, obviously, they have to take out the ape, which is, as you mentioned, nightmare fuel. Because when the thing turns and screams, the entire teacher went, ah!
And it's like looking over the surveillance cameras.
Like, it's just fucking eyes that get me. Like, what the fuck is wrong with it?
When was a manufacturer like, this is cute, let's sell it to kids?
Right? Like, hey, the monkey with cocaine eyes. Yeah, we can sell that to kids. Like, no.
Well, I mean, cocaine was in coke, so back in the day.
I guess. And then they tie the monkey up, but they don't cover his eyes. So I'm like, oh, cool. More nightmare fuel.
Yeah, and you gotta love how they trap Buzz.
Yeah.
Like, once they trap Buzz, Buzz was still in like Space Ranger mode, so he like drew a circle with his like laser beam and tried to like push his way out. And I'm like, okay, that was kind of funny.
Yeah. And then Barbie is in Ken's house, and she has to discover how to turn Buzz back to normal. And like, she ties him up, and she doesn't torture him physically, but she does do it mentally. Because she starts tearing up all his clothes. Like, no, not the vintage line.
For sure, every toy manufacturer, like, who like posted that out, or like any toy collector would have been like, no! Ah, no, I don't collect them.
Oh yeah, and I love the fact that as this operation is going on, Mr. Potato Head agrees to take in the worst punishment possible, which is going in the sandbox twice.
Jesus Christ. Oh my god, there's Lincoln logs in here. I don't think those are Lincoln logs. Yep.
Yep. And he has to uh, borrow the form of a, what is it, tortilla? And then a cucumber because a pigeon ate half of the tortilla anyway. I'm like, oh, that's funny.
The man was just going through so many phases from tortilla to cucumber.
Yeah.
And you just see like Mrs. Potato. Oh my god, dude! You're so thin and tall.
And then they all have this like Metal Gear as sneak away in the playground, right? We have to avoid the lights and everything else, otherwise, wow.
Yeah. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
I know. After they managed to make Buzz not quite as normal, because before that, they do get to, what do you call that? Reset him, but he's talking full-on Spanish, like "Donde estás? Me llamo Buzz Lightyear." Like, okay, this is pretty funny though.
Yeah, but this one had more suave and like was kind of sweeping Jessie off her feet.
Yeah, he sees Jess. He's like, "Oh, señorita." I don't know how to say other Spanish things.
Come on, man, we were colonized by them for 300 years.
Yeah.
Nothing came in.
No, it's worse because I just took it last sem. Oh well.
Okay. But like, yeah, you can see Bonnie's. Sorry, Jessie was on it.
But you see, Woody, once Woody appears, she hugs Woody, and Buzz gets just like, "Oh, how dare you, sir!" And in the trash chute, Woody's like, "Hey, give me a lift," and Buzz is like, "No, I want to flex on you."
Yeah, and you see like Buzz doing like this whole mating dance thing where he's going with this.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that was about.
And then he opens the trash chute, and they make it to the other side, and what do you call the dog? Slinky tries to make it to the other side, but Lotso lands in front of him. Like, fuck. Like, how did you discover him? And then you see the phone toy, and he's beaten to shit. Like, again,
Oh, yeah,
in
he's
2010,
broken.
it's like, doesn't really register. Like, oh, they must have made him talk somehow. But in 2018, I'm like, oh my god. He has a broken nose. One of his eyes is almost shut. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, there's some Godfather shit. I'm like, what happened? It was like, I'm sorry, cowboy. Didn't be talking. I'm like, oh my
God.
What is this?
Like, again, what is this rating if it wasn't about talking toys? It was
Yeah.
about humans. This might be an R.
Yeah, but like, since Woody was there, since he was the one who knew the backstory of Lotso, he started like telling them the real story
Yeah.
of what happened, and Baby started to contemplate, like was looking at the locket that wasn't it again Sadie?
Daisy. Like,
Daisy.
oh, just because you couldn't have her, no one could. And you lied
Yeah.
to Chuckles and Baby, and Baby's like, oh. And then Lotso's like, you idiot, she never cared about you anyway.
Yeah, stop being such a big baby.
Yeah.
And like Baby just like
Pulls a Vader.
Darth Vader, process Emperor style.
Yeah. And then they make it halfway across, but one of the aliens are like, help me, I am stuck. And Woody's like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And then they go into the trash truck, that's what you call it, right?
Garbage truck.
Garbage truck. And
Dude, come on.
sorry. And then from there on out, it's full on like, how is this movie gonna end?
And
This-
I, to be honest, I kind of saw like, is Buzz broken? Because you saw the scene where he kind of pushes Jesse out of the way and the TV falls on him.
Yeah, I'm like, is he dead?
No, well, I would say broken.
Alright, does he snap in half because of the fucking
Yeah.
TV?
Dude, that was like CRT, like yeah, the fucking box at the back.
Yeah.
It wasn't flat screen.
Like when you see the glass break up, I'm like, is that from Buzz? Oh, it's not from Buzz's helmet, thank God.
Oh yeah.
And he
I mean,
thinks,
again, toys were built different back then.
I guess, but Jesse thinks he's dead, but he snaps to it. And they are dumped in the landfill. And first they have to avoid the blades with magnets. But Lot's just like, help me. I know, before that, the kids get swept by some, what do you call that? A tractor? a garbage tractor. I don't know what to call it.
Oh yeah, no, it was like a bulldozer.
Yeah, yeah. And you're like, I guess, Mr.
They wanted to see, yeah, they wanted to go to the club.
Like,
That was their whole thing, right?
guess they don't have kids no more.
Yeah. And then as they go through it, they have this whole other conveyor scene again,
Yeah.
compared to like the second movie.
Yeah. And then Rex is like, Woody, I see daylight. He's like, that's not daylight.
It's a furnace, for fuck's sake. And of course, like they're like pointing out, like, oh, there's a ladder we can get to. And it's like, cowboy, help me, or sheriff, sorry.
Yeah.
And as they both push him up, they're like, press the button to stop the conveyor belt, and he just leaves them. I was like,
Yeah.
That's true villain moment. Not gonna lie, this is Toy Story, but they make really good villains.
Yeah.
Minus Sid, I would say. He's just a kid.
Yeah.
But like, bad guys. Dude who's a toy collector in the second movie, and now a tyrannical dictator of a toy.
And they're in this furnace, and I'm back in 2010. I'm like, am I gonna see my childhood melted?
Exactly. To be honest, I was like expecting, like, they're getting close to the fire. I was like, you guys should start melting by now, or start to get gloss.
Yeah. And
there you go.
it's a really powerful moment because they're still fighting, and then Jesse's like, "Boss, what do we do?" And no words are exchanged. He just reaches out his hand, and Jesse reaches out hers, and it's understood.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Dude, when first I'm watching this, I was like, is this it? This is what people were talking about, that this is like the saddest scene?
yeah,
But for me, I was like, of course they're gonna make it. But I was like, but is somebody not gonna make it?
right. It is powerful to see like all of them, even Woody, because he keeps fighting, and he looks up. He's like, "Oh, we're not fighting back, aren't we? We're accepting our fate." And it's painful to see like they look away, like, I don't want to face it, but I'm ready anyway.
Dude, seeing what was the name of the Bullseye?
Bullseye.
Yeah, him like kind of like trying to like get out of it, kind of acting like a dog
Yeah.
or an animal, just doesn't know what's happening. And then like Jesse just had to grab his puff just to calm him down. I was like, oh, to the rescue, Deus Ex Machina style. Not really Deus Ex Machina. The claw alien things rescue them. I was like, oh, thank God.
Thank God. Because you see the last shot is Woody, like, I guess this is it. Fuck.
Yeah, they go in as a family, they die as a family. Was Barbie with them? No.
No.
She wasn't. Yeah, she wasn't in the trash can. The garbage truck.
Because Kenny's like, no, you have to stay with me as we set up a new style of leadership.
Yeah.
But the aliens rescue them, and I do like how Jesse and Buzz still are holding hands. You're like, I guess they're meant to last forever.
Yeah.
And then Stinky's like, where the fuck is Lotso? I want to have words and fists.
It cuts to Lotso. He's outside, and then one of the garbage men kind of spots it. Was like, oh, I had this as a kid. Oh, strawberries. It puts him at the like hood of his truck. I was like, damn, that's a poor fate for a toy.
Yeah. And like the other, I guess, air fresheners are like, hey, don't open your mouth. And he's like,
yeah, like Kermit the Frog at the side, like, don't open your mouth.
and then
we do get like a little bit of a cameo from Sid.
Yeah, they're rescued by Sid, of all people.
Yeah, he is one of the garbage men. Because he had the same shirt, as they theorize.
Yeah, it's not really confirmed, but we would like to believe that Sid kind of has a hand in saving them.
Man, look, I feel bad for Sid. Like, I get it that he was the first villain in the first movie, but like, after that, kid for sure went to therapy.
Yeah, he seems happy though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he seems content with life. Good for him.
Different.
Yeah, and they were like, before we go to Andy, we had to wash up. And I was like, hey, my toys. Bleh.
Just imagine, it's like, oh thank God they're ready.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. Anyway,
they make it back in time, and Woody's like, I can't leave them behind, because Buzz is like, It's not goodbye. We'll see you some other time. And you're like, fuck. I think if the furnace didn't break my heart, this last sequence might.
Yeah, but you hear Bonnie saying, "It's my cowboy." It's like, what? It's my cowboy. It's my toy.
Yeah.
And
Because before that, he's like, this is Buzz, this is Rex, this is Slinky,
Yeah.
he's a good doggy. And then he's like,
But
my
Woody was
cowboy.
like at the bottom.
Yeah. And then Andy, like, takes it back for a bit.
Oh yeah, he recoils a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, that hurt me. Where he was like, kind of like contemplating, like, do I give this way? And then she reaches out for him, and I was like, wait a minute.
Like, I'm not ready for this amount of change, but he has to accept, like, I'm moving on. And the things that I care for the most are in good hands. And it's by someone who obviously cares about them as much as I do.
Yeah, and of course they have like one last play.
Yeah.
He plays with Bonnie before he leaves for college.
And just looks out the window, has a Paul Walker moment, like, thanks guys. And as they go back inside, Woody just goes, so long, partner. And yeah, that's the moment where there was no dried eye in 2010.
To be honest, okay, I'll admit that I was wrong. Like, I was like, oh, it's overhyped. Like, I was going into this movie like, it's overhyped. All you guys are just overreacting. And I saw that too. I was like, ah! Because again, we grew up with these toys, and just imagining like some of the toys that you really really loved, and for sure you had to give away because you're growing up, and you saying goodbye to it. It was probably the hardest thing, you know, hating your teens, your young adult life. And yeah, of course, I had to do those. For sure, you had to do those.
Yeah.
And of course, it's heartbreaking. And now they humanized the toys, and it made it worse.
Ah, man. But yeah, there's a beautiful ending to what, again, we thought was the end.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because we're like, obviously, Andy gave away Bo Peep a long time ago. He's like, why do I have this again?
Wasn't it the sister's toy?
Like, why, Bonnie, do you still want this? Because I don't want this.
Because Woody needs a love interest.
Yeah. And then I guess later on, he's like, why do I have a porcelain doll?
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the end of Toy Story 3. What would you rate this?
You know what? I'll give this one a proper send off. I wish this was a proper send off. I wish they didn't touch on another movie.
Right?
To be honest. Like, I wasn't really feeling Toy Story 4. But here for me, this is like, what was it again? Indiana Jones, the last movie before Christmas Spot.
Last Crusade.
The Last Crusade, there we go. Like, this is the Last Crusade for me. The fourth one's like Crystal Skull. For me, that doesn't exist. Like, this is it. Personal opinion. If you like the fourth one, go nuts, no nuts. But for me, this is the... I'll give it solid 9.5 out of 10. Made me cry. Made me say goodbye to a lot of, good memories that we had with the past movies. And I don't know, it was a really good coming of age story to the toys and to Andy.
Yeah.
Like, they had to accept the fact that, hey, we're all gonna move on someday. When a lot of the times some toys never did.
Yeah.
And I would say that's like a beautiful message to younger kids and to the kids who grew up with this, who were probably on their way to college when they watch this. And a lot of people related to it, especially my brother and sister. But yeah, it was a beautiful film. Probably one of the only Toy Story movies that did not have bloopers, I believe. And to be honest, sure, bloopers. Yeah. Sure, I miss those. But at the same time, it would have ruined the movie if they. So,
Yeah.
well, no, it's a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I do like the. It's not blooper, but you see the aftermath. Like, thankfully, Michael Keaton can change things around. Sunny said, like, every time the kids come in, they like tag in, like, all right, it's your turn to be demolished. Like, good luck.
Yeah, it's a WWE like the whole
Yeah.
tag thing.
And you see Bonnie finally is happy with the toys, and they're finally settling in. And yeah,
Yeah,
I also forgetting 4. I definitely would give this a 10 because there's nothing wrong with this entire movie. Again, how do you make such iconic characters with movies that are less than 2 hours? I mean, this one's pushing it, but still, it's like it's fitting because this is like the closing of a book, and for some reason, 4 feels like DLC. On its own, 10 out of 10. That's a great end. Great closing of character arcs, and ends on such a high note. Where, like, I wonder how, at the time, like, I wonder how Pixar's gonna follow through. And they didn't for a while, because maybe until Big Hero 6, they're like, it's good, but it's not Toy Story 3.
yeah. They kind of had a hit or miss. I mean, Frozen came out the next year,
No, 3 years after.
3 years after.
Yeah.
Of course, that was the biggest thing that Pixar had
Yeah.
come out. And without saying, later down the years, we had amazing movies like Incredibles 2, Cars 3, Say What You Will, I Love It, Lewis Hamilton's in it. So, fuck you guys.
Inside Out.
Inside Out, yeah. We were getting a lot from
Yeah.
Pixar. Say it's overrated. You can't deny they're making really good shit.
Yeah, and they still run with the themes. They're going like, cry, bitch, cry. Well, especially with Coco.
Right. Yeah, and now I'm actually excited to see like this somewhat more grown up movie of Lightyear, which is
Yeah.
what we're building up to.
Yeah, with Chris Evans as Lightyear and Taika Waititi as one of the squad mates. Like, that's an interesting combo.
Yeah.
But that has been our video on Toy Story 3. What do you guys think? Comment below. Please be cool. And comment your theater experience on this movie. Did people cry a lot? Because I remember once the lights turned on, I'm like, damn. We all
People
shared-
were just going like this.
Yeah. Like, it's funny because I love the small kids. You're like, oh, that was fun. And then the mom and dad are like,
Just to imagine though, like they were probably teens when Toy Story came out, and now they have kids.
yeah.
That's just daunting.
It's like, you okay, mom and dad? Like,
It's like, shut up! You don't understand.
but yeah, you can find us at facebook.com/Geeks and Degenerates. We react to trailers, stream video games, and stream out our lives from time to time. You can watch us grow up. That doesn't sound creepy at all, no, does it? I mean, we're already adults, so it's too late. Who cares at this
Yeah,
point?
you kind of missed out on a big part of our lives. But you can stay here for this.
Yeah. Individually, you can find me at Gandalfus1995 on IG and Twitter. And no, I did not forget this time. Before I forget and Drummer kills me, we have a Spotify podcast. If you don't like our faces, which is fair, you can listen to us.
Yeah.
Links down below. How about you, man? Where can they find you?
You can find me at JohnGOM on Instagram. It is my art account.
And please remember to stay safe, wear a mask, social distance, and get vaccinated if you can. Get your booster for fuck's sake. What?
No, what? I'm smiling.
Oh, okay.
What's wrong with that?
I thought I said something. But yeah, that's all that we have for this one, folks. We'll see you on the next one.
Man, shut the hell up. You flubbed the outro. See you again.
I'm trying.